Morning YouTubers, welcome back to the big workshop build. Or maybe that's what I call it, maybe it won't be. Let's get on it. Very frosty this morning. All my concrete posts have all gone off overnight, so they are going to be ready to lay the frames in position. Now I think I'm going to need to trim a bit of the bank there, but I don't think that's quite, I've not excavated enough of that, and that's going to be the first thing I need to do. Should be fairly straightforward, this. What will happen is whether or not all my posts are in the right place. I suppose that's the worry. When you're putting the posts in the floor, I'm doing it this way with the pipe. It's not 100% accurate, so they're not all in line perfectly. So when we put the frames on, it may be that some of them are sitting on the post and some of them are on the edge of the post, or some of them aren't on the post at all. But I don't know exactly how that will work out until we put it on. Now I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that all of the timber sits on all of the posts. That's what we're after. So let's get on it. So the base is in position. It was a bit of a struggle on my own, but we are in the middle of a lockdown, so I can't have anyone else to help me. So I ended up taking some of the middle supports out just to make them lighter and a bit more manageable, and then just putting them in afterwards. It worked fine, all the screw holes were in the right place, so it went back together quite well. Yeah, I've got to square it up now. You can see at the moment some of the pads aren't sat on, so it just needs to twist round a bit, but I need to measure it from the house to here to make sure it's parallel with the house. And yeah, once this is in square, then I will bolt the double beams together to join each section together. I'll show you that now. Okay, so where the timbers of each of the three sections join together, there's a double rafter, and I'm going to join them using this 150 M10 bolt. So I'll drill 10-12 mil hole through both the joints, through both the joists, and then that will go through. In between the joists will go one of these spiky, I don't know what they're called, double-sided timber connector. That will basically, that stops either of the timbers moving up and down in time, so that goes in the middle. And then on the other side we just have a square washer and a nut, and if you want you could put a second nut on as a locking nut. That will then hold the two, or doing that will hold all three sections of the base together, and then they won't go anywhere. Let's get on with it. So we've bolted all three frames together, and now we're just going to try and square the base up with the main house, make sure it's parallel, and then we'll look at making sure that it's sitting on all of the feet as we twist it. Let's go. Okay, so now I'm going to go round and just pack underneath each joist where maybe they're a little bit high or low, and just try and level the base. I've got a whole range of just plastic packing pieces. I'm just going to work my way around leveling and packing as I go. Okay, so now with all of the base packed, there it's now. So my battery died again just as I finished doing the the packing pieces under the joists. I've started cutting the noggins. There's going to be 2 rows, 1.2 meters from the edge and staggered, so that I can drill them, and that will pick up the edges of the plywood that's going to go on top of this. Yeah, I've done one. I've still got to screw it in, and I've got the other 2 sections to do. Let's get it on. So, as you can see, I'm not too far along with the noggins, and it's going to take me a while. And I'm using the big 150mm screws I use for the frame, just because I got a box of 200, so I'm going to use those up. They might be slightly overkill for the noggins, but they work quite well for the double joists, because you can come straight in from the other side and still get all the way through into the noggin. So I've staggered them like this, so on this side the plywood will butt up to this edge, and on the other side it will butt up to this edge. Because the span of the joists is only 370mm, roughly, approximately, along the way, plywood can span that no problem, and then we'll have the proper floor. We'll go on top of that. Okay, let's carry on. So, as you can see, I've cut all of the noggins. They're all in place, and I ran out of screws, so I ordered some more of the hex head, Screwfix hex head corrosion resistant screws, but I got them in the 100mm length version, just because I think that they're going to be a lot easier to screw in for the noggins. The 150s I was using were a bit overkill for the noggins, to be honest. So got the 100mm, so I'm just going to screw these in, and then that will be the structure of the base finished. Let's get into it. Well, that's the base all done. Well, the noggin's all done. It's working out really nicely, really happy with it. They've all gone in really well. The screws worked well, squared it all up, made it nice and strong. There was a little bit of bounce in it before, but now that the noggins are in, that's really stiffened things up. So the next stage, which will be the next video, will be creating some little wooden packers that will screw to each side of the joists, so that when I cut and lay the 100mm insulation in, it will hold it in place and it won't fall through. What that will allow me to do is cut it a little bit smaller so it goes in nice and easily, and then foam all the way around, but you'll see that in the next video. And also get the damp proof coursing wrapped up the sides and the back. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Come back for the next one where we'll sort the insulation out, and like and subscribe and all of those things, and see you for the next one. Cheers.